Morning everyone, welcome back to day 2 of Barley silage. We're just getting going here. Started a little bit later today, 9 o'clock instead of the usual 7. It's because last night it started raining. The crop has to be at a certain moisture or below to start chopping. You can't just put super moist stuff in the pit, it'll rot then. But this morning we're gonna put the inoculant in the inoculant applicator. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what that is. So it's just a kind of like a cooler. The stuff you put in here has to be cold, has to stay cold the entire day. It's just a bacteria that gets slowly applicated to the crop as it goes in the chopper, and this helps it ferment once it gets in the pile. You see a lot better results in your silage quality using that inoculant, and that's why we do it. So we always grab our 2 buckets. You gotta mix up a powder in the water. Make sure the water is nice and cold before we put it in the pail. So this is exactly enough inoculant for 700 tons. We would make more, but since we're starting and 2.5 hours late this morning, we're not going to make as much silage today. So we put it in the cooler. We got a chunk of ice in there to keep it nice and cold for the entire day. Should be ready to go. You can see this line just continues to where the crop is fed into the chopper, and that's how it's mixed in properly. Milk truck's here, picking up the milk before we leave the yard. That's what we do it all for. That inoculant is incredibly expensive. It's one of those things, you'll look at it on paper, you'll wonder why you're doing it. It'll kind of make you sick. But in the grand scheme of things, we're making a lot of feed for a lot of cows. It already costs a stupid amount. And when you factor the inoculant into the whole price of the feed, it's not the biggest cost. And it's gonna really improve the feed quality and pay itself off. You always gotta take some drinks out to the field. I like to take out some Gatorade. It's got lots of sugar, lots of salt. I feel like it keeps your mind sharp. I'm also a sugar-free Red Bull guy, but you start to get a little shaky after a couple cups of coffee, a couple Red Bulls, so there's no caffeine in here. That's our first load of the day. These are some pretty heavy swaths, it's unreal. This is what the barley's looking like. It's starting to fill the grain a little bit. It's actually really good. So that was our concern with starting this early, is are we gonna get that fill in the heads of the crop? But you can see over here, all of our plans of course changed with that inch of rain we got the other day. But these plants right here, the white looking stuff, that was drying out and dying already. So we figured, okay, we gotta go. But then you get that inch of rain, you got all the guys lined up to come silage. But it looks like these heads are just filling up really quick, which is insane because a lot of these plants literally had nothing 2 days ago before that rain. The rain hit the ground, and in 2 days these heads are already filling. These big swaths are just terrible to feed into the chopper. They're literally as wide as the entire pickup on that thing. And this swath is just a little bit too heavy for that unit. The pickup reel kind of plugs up. The chopper does have a pretty good reverser on it, so that's a good thing. 2 years ago now, we demoed a Fendt 942. We put it in front of the chopper, and I could put a lot more product through it. That was a lot of fun. I also got to keep track of every load of silage we make, and this is how we keep track of inventory of feed on the farm. We just use the good old-fashioned 4 lines and then 1 across for 5. Makes it easy to count up the loads at the end of the day. We do have a third truck. He's a custom guy, Dennis. and he must be busy this morning. He helped us out yesterday, which was awesome. But otherwise I gotta wait on our 2 silage trucks. The boss.
This one is humongous, but you can't get away from the first one anyway.
It's gonna really suck if it gets plugged. We gotta pull it out with all these thistles here. Oh well. Son of a bad luck.
Yeah, a little bit.
What did you do, Reese?
I think it was you, wasn't it?
Me? Yeah, it was me. Oh, we broke a shear bolt somewhere in there, so this doesn't have any more drive. It's not too bad plugged up, it just, the shear bolt just gave out.
I'm just a driver, so.
You're just a driver, hey?
I'm just a driver.
You probably could go dump, actually.
Sure. I'll let you guys do this.
Morning!
Morning!
How's it going?
Good.
It's good.
Did you, you know your ignition's finicky on your truck?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I guess you can leave it partially on overnight. So.
Oh, that's why you're a couple minutes late here.
That's why I'm a little late.
Well, it's not really, we're not losing any time, I guess, because I plugged it.
Okay.
And then we broke a shear bolt.
The main?
No, it's one for the drive for the auger and the feeder there.
Okay.
You can see it's squished out the side right there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did it real good then.
Yeah.
That's even better than yesterday then.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I guess there has to be a max, otherwise you send something stupid through.
It's actually sitting up all the way by itself.
Yeah.
I've plugged it 2 more times in the same swath. We've been on this swath for 2 whole hours now. We gotta cut it in half with the swather. We'll do that for the next field. We gotta go through quite a few tree rows yet. But the end is in sight. What's for lunch today?
Pierogies and sausage.
You're spoiling us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just had lunch. Hopefully the second half of the day goes a little bit better than the first half. We just left the rest of that swath there. It was a terrible swath. It is 10 to 8 o'clock at night, so that's when we shut everything down. For the inoculant, since we didn't do as much tonnage today as we wanted to or as I planned to do, I still have a lot of inoculant in here. So what I gotta do tonight is I gotta throw some ice in there so it stays cool overnight. As soon as that stuff gets warm, it goes bad if it's not in the silage. So gotta be sure of that. And also there's an additional little reservoir here that holds just pure water. And I always gotta switch that over for the last load or two. And that pushes the water through the lines and pushes the inoculant out. The inoculant, if it's not moving or just sits still there, sometimes it'll plug up and get hard, and you definitely don't want that to happen in those lines. Happened to me one time before. It was not fun unplugging those lines. We just finished servicing the equipment. We always do that at the end of every day. So I figured it's still pretty light out. We'll check out the silage pit, how big it's gotten. This pit is 20 meters wide. The walls are 8 foot tall. I know I'm mixing measurements there, but that's literally the dimensions we built it. Oh yeah, this is a nice pile. Our guy's done a really good job packing this. So you can see tires over every square inch of this pile. And she is tall. Well, this is going to be so much fun to cover. Last year's drought kind of left us with not as much feed as we wanted, so the pile was a lot smaller. You can see this year we got all the feed we need, so we went quite a bit higher right away. Keep as much feed on the concrete as possible. It's always nicer to feed off the concrete. It feels really good to start making a good amount of feed. We were cutting it pretty close there this summer. We only would have had feed for another 2 months probably, tops, maybe a month and a half. So it's awesome to see this stuff fill up the bunker. That is going to be it for today's video, guys. If you want to see the packing portion of silaging, definitely tune into the next video. Hit the subscribe buttons if you enjoyed today, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.